Hey, this is Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to A Course in Miracles here on Facebook Live. And we're going to talk about setting the goals and having your goals manifest from A Course in Miracles miracle perspective. And that's what we're going to talk about. And remember, you need not believe the ideas, you need not accept the ideas, you need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you will find hard to believe, some of the ideas will be quite startling. And you're not being asked to judge and analyze the ideas at all. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. We're going to be in chapter 17 in A Course in Miracles, and in section 6, paragraph 5. We're going to be in the section called Setting the Goal in chapter 17, section 6, paragraph 5. So I want you to go to that if you have the book, and we're going to hear what Spirit is telling us to do. And first of all, if you really want to have a successful experience, no matter what experience that you're saying that you want to have, remember what you want to do is make sure that your goal is truth. See, the goal is, if your goal is truth, do you know that if your goal is truth, that means that you're saying, I really want peace out of whatever it is I manifest. I want to have joy. I want to have happiness. I want to have love. What difference does it make what you get at a physical material level, or if you get a relationship with another person and there's no truth in it, and there's no joy in it, and there's no happiness in it? So you want to, first and foremost, before you set any kind of goal for yourself, you want to make sure that you're setting the goal of truth. So the Course says the goal of truth has further practical advantages. So going for the truth, going for what's real, has very practical advantages. It says if the situation is used for truth and the situation is used for sanity, then the Course says the outcome of the situation must be peace. So if I say that, yeah, I want a relationship, but I want truth and sanity in that relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship with some crazy, insane person, and a person that's an aspect of myself that's full of guilt and insanity and fear. So the Course is saying that you need to be practical. You know, if you say you want prosperity and you say you want abundance in your life, then you need to also say, hey, I want to experience peace through that. I want to experience sanity through that. You want a sane mind, a really advancing spiritual being, someone who's really becoming spiritually mature, is a person that realizes that there's nothing more important than sanity, and that what you want is a sane mind, and what you want is sanity in any situation that you're in right now. If you're in a situation right now that's giving you fear and conflict, the first thing you should say to yourself and the first thing you should say to the universe is, my goal is truth. And my goal is sanity. And if you use this situation for truth, if you use this situation for sanity, what does the Course in Miracles say? Its outcome must be peace. We in chapter 17, section 6, paragraph 5, in the Blue Course in Miracles book, the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles. And then the next sentence goes, if peace is the condition of truth and sanity, and you can't not have peace without truth and sanity, where peace is where truth and sanity must be. So whenever I listen to the Course in Miracles after 40 years of teaching and studying it, the first thing that comes to my mind is, how can I apply what it's saying to my personal situation, right? So how can I tell if I'm dealing with something in a way that's truth? How can I tell if I'm dealing with something in a way that's sane? Well, the Course in Miracles says, well, if peace and sanity, if truth and sanity is there, you're going to have peace. So wherever in your life that you're not experiencing peace right now, in whatever area in your life that you're not experiencing peace right now, that's the area of your life that you're not really dealing with the truth, and that's the area of your life that you're not really dealing with what's sane. So if I want to take a look at my life and see where I'm using the truth and where I'm using sanity, and where I'm really using the teachings of the Course in Miracles, then it's going to be the area of my life that I'm experiencing peace in. Because wherever there is peace, that's where the truth is happening. And wherever there is peace, that is where sanity is happening. So wherever in your life that you're not having peace, whatever area in your life that you're not experiencing sanity, well, that's where you're not using the truth. So you can tell yourself that you're using the truth, and you can tell yourself that you're using truth principles, or you can tell yourself that you're dealing with the truth. But the truth is, if your goal is truth, if your goal is sanity, in that area of your life, you have to have peace. So what is the Course in Miracles definition of peace? The Course in Miracles definition of peace is total fulfillment. So the Course in Miracles says peace is total, complete fulfillment. So when you say you want peace, don't you know you're not talking about something boring. You're not talking about something that doesn't give you any joy or fun or happiness. When you say you want peace, you're saying, I want to have total fulfillment in my relationships. I want to have total fulfillment in the situations in my life. And if there's a situation in your life that's causing you a challenge right now, then you want to say, oh my God, I want to have total fulfillment in this area. So this must be an area in my life that I am not practicing the truth. That means I have not set a goal. So in the areas of your life, especially those areas that you don't feel happy in, and you don't feel whole in, and you don't feel total fulfillment in, there's two questions you need to ask yourself. What do I want to come out of this situation? What do I want to come out of this relationship? And what is it for? Why am I in this relationship? Why am I in this job? Why am I in this circumstance? What do I want to come out of this situation? What is this situation for? What do I want to come out of this relationship? What is the relationship for? So that means that if peace, the next sentence says, if peace is the condition of truth and sanity and cannot be without truth and sanity, where peace is, truth and sanity must be. Truth comes of itself. So if you are experiencing peace, so think about the areas of your life that you are experiencing peace. Well, the Course in Miracles says truth comes of itself. So if you experience peace, what does it mean if you're experiencing peace? Well, it says, well, if you're experiencing peace, it's because the truth has come to you. If you're experiencing peace, it's because the truth has come to you. And not only that, if you experience peace, it's because the truth has come to you. And so you will see the outcome truly, because deception can't prevail against you. What does that mean? Because I really want to help people out who are trying to study and read the Course. Now, again, let's make it practical. If you have peace, if you have sanity, then the Course in Miracles is saying you cannot be deceived. You see, a person who is in a state of peace, a person who is in a state of peace, a person who's not full of anger, a person that's not full of grievances, a person that's not attacking, a person that's not afraid, this is a person who cannot be fooled. Because if you know the truth and you have sanity, then nobody can deceive you. Nobody can deceive a person who really knows the truth. Because someone who knows the truth knows immediately when somebody is telling them something that isn't the truth. You see, I know that love is freedom, love is peace, love is joy, right? So if I'm talking to somebody and they are full of anger, guilt, grievances, and attack, then I know already that this is a person that's not seeing things clearly. I know that this is a person who is deceiving themselves very easily. And most of all, if I'm dealing with somebody and they're full of anger, guilt, and grievances, it also makes me completely aware that this person is deceiving themselves, that they can fool themselves, and they could see me in an incorrect way, because no one is seeing anything correctly when they're full of anger, guilt, and grievances, and jealousy, and upset. So the truth is, if you are centered in the truth, if you are a peaceful person, then nobody can fool you. Nobody can deceive you if you have a vision and a way of looking at things that's based on what the Course in Miracles is teaching and based on what the truth is. So how can you tell when you're deceiving yourself? How can you tell when you're getting ready to deceive yourself? Wherever you're the most upset, wherever you're the most angry, wherever you are the most depressed, that's in full of resentment. That's right. If you're full of resentment, then you're not seeing things correctly. So if you're dealing with a situation right now and you know you feel anger, guilt, and grievances, did I say if you're dealing with a situation in which you feel upset or angry right now, then you are not seeing that situation correctly. You are not seeing that situation correctly. So therefore, you could deceive yourself, you could fool yourself, and you could say or do something that you are going to regret later on. So get honest with yourself. And nobody can fool you if you know that. If I know I'm listening to a person and that person is full of anger, guilt, and grievances, and they're projecting and they're blaming, then I know this is a person who is deceiving themselves. And I also know that this is a person that also it's a good chance they're going to misperceive me and also be seeing me incorrectly. Now, when you practice the truth, you'll find that your life becomes a lot more peaceful and loving because you don't make as many mistakes in your judgments about what's going on. Life doesn't have to be as complicated as we think it is. But the Course in Miracles has taught me your life is going to be really complicated if you don't know how the truth operates. Your life is going to be very complicated if you don't realize that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are a divine being having a human experience. You are more than your body. You are more than your personality. You are more than your gender. You are more than what the world has taught you that you are. You are a being that's totally unlimited. You are a being that only deserves love. You are a being that only deserves love. You are a being that only deserves love and wealth and abundance and connection and joining. You are divine. You are spirit. Don't sell yourself short. Don't believe the lies that the world has taught you about who and what you are. You are more than just a human being. Being a human, having a human expression of yourself, that's great. But you are more than your human expression of yourself. So the level of love and the level of truth that the Course in Miracles teaches is so far beyond just personal growth books that it will blow your mind, because you are the child of the Most High. You are the child of the divine. You are a child of God. So you're not just an ordinary anything. You are absolutely an incredible being. So it says right here, it says, now you will recognize the outcome because you are at peace. So what does that mean? You're going to know what's going on if you are at peace. You will be more aware of what's going on in this situation that you're dealing with if you are at peace. So what does that make your first responsibility be? Well, your first responsibility is to make sure that you keep your peace. You look out for your peace first. Do you know you need to look out for your peace first? You can't give anybody else peace if you don't have peace. You can't give anybody else love if you're not feeling love within yourself. So you have to put your peace first. You have to put your happiness first. You have to put your happiness first before you can be a medium or a channel for anybody else's happiness. So you must let go of that idea that you got to make everybody else happy before you allow yourself to be happy. That is absolutely the way to guarantee that you'll never know true peace. Say this to yourself: I cannot give what I don't have. I can't give what I don't have. I can't give what I don't have. So if I don't have any peace, I can't give anybody else peace. If I don't have peace, I can't give you peace. So my first job has got to be to give myself peace. Okay, so how does a person make sure that they can give themselves peace? Well, they have to have the goal of truth. You have to go, I want to know the real truth. I want to experience real love. I want to experience what the real truth is. And most of all, I want to come from my sane mind. I want to tap into my sanity. I want to tap into my sane mind. And guess what? I want to tap into the same mind in my mate, my children, my friends, my co-workers, my boss, the strangers that I meet in the street. I want to tap into the part of me that is absolutely sane. And I also want to join with the part of your mind that's sane. As a Course in Miracles teacher, and having done it for over 40 years, I'm trying to show you how to use these Course in Miracles principles in every area of your life. I know I could talk at a very abstract philosophical level, but that's not the level I want to teach on. I want to teach on the level of how can you take the Course in Miracles and how can you use it in your everyday life, in your everyday experience. That's really important right now. Okay, so let's go to the next sentence. It says, here again, you see the opposite of the ego's way of looking. We're in chapter 17, the section called Setting the Goal, and we are in section 6, paragraph 5. Section 6, paragraph 5. So, and then the Course in Miracles says, again, you see the opposite of the ego's way of looking. So what is the ego's way of looking? What is the wrong-minded way of looking? Well, the Course says, well, the ego's way of looking is believing that the situation brings the experience. In other words, when a person doesn't know the truth, they believe that things are just happening to them. A person who doesn't recognize the spiritual truth and doesn't recognize metaphysical, spiritual, universal laws, that's a person who's walking around believing that situations are bringing the experience. In other words, I'm not the one that's bringing the experience in my relationship. This experience is just happening, and in most cases, it looks like it's happening because of what somebody else did or did not do. And so now I'm having this experience because the situation I'm in with you is bringing this experience. I'm having this experience at work because this situation at work is what's upsetting me. That's wrong-minded thinking. That's what the ego would call wrong-minded thinking. Wrong-minded thinking is believing that situations that you're in, it's just the situations that you're in that's bringing the experience. No, the truth is you are bringing the experience to you. You are the creator of your experiences. You are the creator of your experience. You are the creator of your experience, which means you are not trapped in any experience that you're going through. You are not trapped in any experience that you're going through. Any experience that you're going through can be changed for the better. Listening to spirit, listening to your guidance, following the teachings of A Course in Miracles, you can completely free yourself from any of the pain or conflict that you think you're going through in any area of your life. But you need a teacher. You need to follow guidance. So the Course in Miracles is saying the ego, what is the ego? Wrong-mindedness. The Course in Miracles defines the ego as wrong-mindedness. So wrong-mindedness, when a person is in their wrong mind, what does that mean? Well, if you're in your wrong mind, you think the situation that you're in brought you the experience that you're in, and you don't believe that you are the creator of how you are experiencing the experience that you're in. So the Holy Spirit, which is your inner teacher, the voice for God, the part of you that's in connection with spirit and the universe, your divine self, the Holy Spirit, what is it that the Holy Spirit knows? It says the Holy Spirit knows that the situation is as the goal determines the situation. So when you're in your right mind, so if the ego is wrong-mindedness, then the Holy Spirit is right-mindedness. So the Holy Spirit, which is right-mindedness, knows that the situation that you're in is as the goal determines that situation, and that you are experiencing that situation according to the goal. So let's break that down. If I'm in a relationship and I want to have more peace in that relationship, but I'm not having peace in that relationship, then I realize that at some level, if I'm not giving myself peace in that relationship, then I don't have the goal of peace in that relationship. If that conflict continues over and over and over again, there is some level of me that for some reason has not firmly established that my goal is peace. You see, if I'm in a relationship with you and I've determined that my goal in the relationship with you is that you and I have peace with each other, then if you are saying something to me that I'm making myself get upset about, then I have to remind myself that if my goal is peace and my goal is sanity, then I'm not going to attack you. That's going to be the number one rule. If my goal is peace, I'm not going to attack. If your goal is peace, then you don't attack the other person. If your goal is peace, you don't go off on the other person in anger and attack, because your goal is peace. Your goal is sanity. And here's another thing to think of. If I'm angry and I'm upset with you, and then I'm listening to what the Course is saying, which is when I don't have peace and I don't have sanity, then that's when I'm going to have conflict. And that's when I'm not going to be at peace. Doesn't that mean that if you're beginning to feel anger, or you're beginning to feel upset, that's letting you know that you are going into wrong-mindedness? And since you're going into wrong-mindedness and insanity, it's a good chance that you might not hear things clearly and you might not hear things correctly. And since you're going into anger and insanity because you're feeling anger, then it's a possibility that you're going to see this situation completely wrong, which means it's a good chance you're going to make the situation worse for yourself. So remember, the goal is going to determine the situation, and you're going to experience the situation according to your goal. So what do? Well, if it was me, the first thing I would do, if I was feeling angry and upset in a situation or a relationship, trying to use the Course in Miracles principles that is teaching me right now, is I would try to remember to ask myself, what do I want to come out of this situation? What is this situation for? What do I want to come out of this? Okay, well, I'm in a relationship with you. I want peace and love to come out of that situation. So if I want peace and love to come out of that situation, the first thing I need to remember is not to attack you, and to also take some responsibility for what I'm experiencing in the situation. One of the words that I try to avoid when I'm talking to people that I'm in relationship with, do you know one of the words that I try my best to avoid is you. You did this and you did that. And if you were different, I would be happy. If you spoke differently, I would be happy. If you act differently, I would be happy. If you didn't do this, I would be happy. If you didn't do that, I would be happy. And you did that, and that's what upset me. Whenever you are using that type of approach, do you know the Course in Miracles says that's going to guarantee that you have misery and unhappiness. Why? Because you are making your happiness dependent on what somebody else says and does. You're making your happiness dependent on how somebody else acts. So then you need to get back to your goal and go, okay, what I really want in this situation is peace. So I need to use some sanity in this situation. The Course in Miracles told me that sanity would be for me to get clear what I wanted to come out of the situation, and to realize that I want to do whatever is going to help me achieve my goal. I want to have peace with this person, or I want to have peace in this situation. So I need to focus on the things that's going to help me keep my peace in this situation or with this person. And I need to overlook as much as possible the things that would make me want to attack this person. Why? Because my goal is peace. Because my goal is sanity. So then in the next paragraph in the Course in Miracles text, chapter 17, section 6, paragraph 6. Now remember, when you're studying and reading the Course in Miracles reads as if it assumes that you won't understand necessarily what it's saying. So instead of trying to analyze what the Course in Miracles is saying, and instead of trying to give the Course in Miracles your interpretation of what it's saying, what I always suggest to Course in Miracles students is that you continue to read on. Just keep going, because the Course in Miracles always clarifies what it's saying if you continue to read. So let's go to the next paragraph. It says, the goal of truth requires faith. The goal of love requires faith. So if I'm going to go for sanity with you, and I'm going to go for truth with you, and if I want to have love between us, it's going to require what? the Course in Miracles says, well, it's going to require faith. Faith is implicit in the acceptance of the Holy Spirit's goal of truth and sanity. Faith is implicit. What does that mean? That means that if I'm going to accept God's purpose, then I have to move in the direction of having faith in what God is teaching me, what truth is teaching me. Faith is implicit in the acceptance of the Holy Spirit's purpose, and this faith is all inclusive. So where the goal of truth is set, there faith must be. Okay, so I'm going to set the goal of having peace with this person that I'm having conflict with, or in this situation that I have conflict in. So what do I need to have faith in? Well, you need to have faith in the fact that you've accepted the Holy Spirit's purpose, which is love, peace, and sanity. You need to have faith in your goal of experiencing truth and peace in this situation. Where the goal of truth is set, there is where your faith must be. So I'm going to put my faith not in your human personality. I'm going to put my faith in the goal that I've set with the Holy Spirit. I'm going to put my faith in the goal. I'm going to put my faith in my goal to have peace with you. I'm going to put my faith in my goal to have sanity with you. I'm going to put my faith in the goal. I'm going to put my faith in the goal that the Holy Spirit has set. And what is the goal that the Holy Spirit has set? The goal of truth and the goal of sanity. Again, you can use what I'm sharing with you from A Course in Miracles. You can use these principles in situations and circumstances that you're dealing with right now. And I know that you probably have some situation or circumstance that you would like to see differently, that you would like to have more peace in, that you'd like to have more happiness in. If you're in Earth school, then you have some lessons in love and forgiveness that you have to learn. That's what Earth is, by the way. It's a school for souls. Earth is a school for souls. In other words, this is soul school. That's right. You are in soul school. You are off in soul school. And when you incarnated in your physical body, it was just like you going off to college to learn lessons in love. And what you call death and what you call transition is you dropping the body and going back home to where you actually came from. So you're in soul school right now. So what do you need to do? You need to have faith in the goal that you've set. Now, how does the Holy Spirit see your situation? How does Spirit see your situation? How does the right mind see the situation or relationship that you're in right now? The Holy Spirit sees the situation as a whole. So that means that the divine sees aspects of the situation that you're not aware of. The divine sees the situation as a whole, not just the little bit that you see or the little bit that the other person may see in the situation. The divine sees the whole situation. A loving mind, the right mind, the Holy Spirit sees the whole situation. And so the next sentence says, the goal establishes the fact that everyone involved in the goal, the Course in Miracles teaches, everyone involved in the goal will play their part in the goal's accomplishment. I'm going to say that several times because that's one of my favorite sentences in this section. If you set the goal, the Course in Miracles says everybody involved with the goal is going to play their part in the accomplishment of the goal. So if you really set the goal of truth, if you really set the goal of peace, if you really set the goal of sanity in any situation and in any circumstance, then that goal establishes that everybody involved in the goal is going to play their part. But once you get clear about what the goal is, universal law and universal principle says everyone involved in the goal will play his part in the goal's accomplishment. Everybody's going to play their part. If I really have set the goal of truth with you, and I've really set the goal of sanity, I have to have faith in that goal. And that goal is going to establish the fact that you are going to play your part in helping me accomplish my goal of peace. Even if you are just helping me remind myself of what the truth is and how I need to look at things so that I give myself truth and I give myself peace. Even if you're going off and still acting crazy, even if the other person is going off and still acting crazy and upset, if you use that as an opportunity to make you remember that your peace comes from you and that it's the way you are looking at things that determine the way you look at this situation, regardless of what the other person is doing, it's the meaning that you're giving that person and giving that situation. It's the meaning you are giving that person and the meaning that you are giving that situation that's determining how you feel right now. So your goal is peace. Your goal is sanity. Regardless of how the other person is acting or reacting, you need to remember that your feelings, though, the feelings that you are having, those feelings are not being caused by that other person. Those feelings that you're having in this situation are not being caused by that other person. The feelings that you're having in this situation is being caused by the meaning that you're giving to what's going on in this situation. So your goal is peace and sanity. Your peace and sanity is going to come from you in the way that you're looking at it. So that person is really playing their part in the accomplishment of the goal because they are helping you be reminded of the way that you need to look at it if you want to have peace in the situation. I'm going to say that again. The goal establishes the fact that everyone will play their part in the accomplishment of the goal. This is inevitable. No one will fail in anything. Do you know no one will fail in anything? Once you set the goal and you have faith in the goal, the Course in Miracles says everybody's going to play their part in helping to bring about that goal, and nobody will fail in anything. Now, do you know the Course in Miracles says, you know what? I know this seems to ask for faith beyond you. I know it sounds like I'm asking you for more faith than you have right now, that you may not have faith in your goal yet, like you want to have faith in your goal. I know that this seems to ask for faith that's beyond you. And faith that's beyond you is faith beyond what you can give. So sometimes when you're studying the truth and you're studying metaphysics and you're studying the Course in Miracles, it will seem like it's asking for faith, more faith than you have to give. But that's just from the viewpoint of your ego. That's just because you're thinking about this goal from the standpoint of your wrong mind instead of your right mind, your fearful mind instead of your loving mind. Do you know how a wrong mind tries to handle a situation? The Course in Miracles says, well, you know, a wrong mind tries to handle the situation through solving the conflict through fragmentation, solving the conflict through separation. In other words, a person that's not really conscious, that's looking at things through their ego, a person that's looking at things through their fear, a person that's looking at things based on the way they learned how to see things in the past that was not correct. The Course says that's a person that doesn't perceive the situation as a whole. So what does that mean? That person isn't perceiving the situation as a whole. Well, when you are not seeing the whole situation, then you try to split off segments of the situation and you try to deal with segments of the situation separately, and you try to handle everything through separation, and you try to handle everything separately, because an ego mind, when someone is in their wrong mind, their faith is in separation. Their faith is not in oneness. So when a person is looking at things through wrong-mindedness, they don't look at how they're connected to the situation that they're in. A person in wrong-mindedness is always seeing themselves as separate in the situation and looking at it as if everything that's happening has nothing to do with them. See, when I'm dealing with the situation from my wrong mind, from my ego mind, I think that everything that's happening is something that I don't have anything to do with and that is separate from me, and then I need to deal with all these situations separately. And when I handle all these situations separately, then I'm going to have peace. A conscious being, a being that's really moving toward the truth, It's going to be a being that wants to deal with this situation as a whole from a perspective of oneness. So therefore, I'm going to look at the situation as if I am connected to the situation because I'm in the situation, that situation is not a situation that I'm a victim of. I'm going to look at the situation as a situation that I can change my response to the situation, that I will be ready to try to see this situation differently, because if I can learn to see this situation differently, then I can have more peace in the situation and more sanity in the situation, because my goal is peace. My goal is sanity. So in other words, you won't see yourself as a victim of the situation. You won't see yourself as a victim of the situation when you're seeing the situation as a whole and you're dealing with the situation from the perspective of right-mindedness. So what does a wrong mind do? Like if a wrong mind is dealing with a situation that there's conflict and fear and upset, what does the ego do? What does the wrong mind do? Well, it says in chapter 17 in the Course in Miracles text, section 6, paragraph 7, it says, confronted with any aspect of the situation that seems to be difficult, the ego, the wrong mind, will attempt to take the aspect that seems to be difficult elsewhere and try to resolve the difficult part elsewhere. And it will look like that it will look like to that person who's trying to deal with everything separately, sometimes it's going to look like they were successful. Like sometimes when you try to deal with situations from a perspective of being separate, it does look like you'll get some type of temporary relief. But the Course in Miracles is saying, but this really isn't what's happening, because trying to deal with everything as if it's separate from you and that it has no connection to you, that idea conflicts with unity, because if we're all one, then there's no such thing as anything happening in my life not being connected to me and my thinking some kind of way. So if I think that I have to deal with everything separately and that I have nothing to do with what's happening to me and that I'm a victim of what's going on, then that's going to hide the goal of truth, because the truth is you are one. The truth is you are the one that's determining how you see and how you feel in every situation, that you are a creator, that you are not weak, that it's all one, that it's all connected. And so you might give yourself some peace when it looks like you're dealing with everything as if you're not connected with it and that you're separate from it, and that you had nothing to do with creating it. But that peace that you have is just going to be peace that you are experiencing in fantasy. You'll just be imagining that you have real peace if you don't see how you're the one that's determining how you see things and how you react to things. It'll look like you get some peace sometimes from thinking of yourself as a victim and separate from the situation. But that peace is going to be in fantasy, which means that that situation is probably going to come back around again and you'll be experiencing it again. And so that means that the truth hasn't come. The peace hasn't come. Why is it that the truth hasn't come? Why is it that the peace hasn't come? Well, because faith has been denied. I lost my faith in my purpose. I lost my faith in the goal. I lost my faith in you. I'm having this experience with you that I need to get straightened out, that I want some kind of sanity and peace in. But I am not seeing how I'm connected into that situation. I'm not seeing that situation as a whole. You might be seeing yourself as a victim. You might be seeing yourself as separate. So that means that the truth, which is you do have power, that this situation can be healed, that you are one, that truth has not come because faith has been denied, being withheld from where the faith rightfully belongs. So where is it that the faith belongs? Well, he says the faith belongs in the Holy Spirit's goal. The faith belongs in the goal. The faith belongs in the fact that there's a higher power that will help heal my perception and heal the situation. My faith belongs in the truth. And the truth is I'm entitled to miracles. You're entitled to miracles. There's another way to look at this. You could have miracles instead of grievances. That you could have peace and you could have sanity in this situation. That you're not alone in this situation. that you have invisible guidance from within you in this situation. If you deny all of that, then it will look like you have peace from time to time, but the problem keeps recurring because your faith has been withheld from where your faith rightfully belongs, in God, in self, in the truth. So then you're losing. What are you losing? Well, the Course says you're losing the understanding of the situation the goal of truth would bring. Why are you losing your understanding? Why are you losing the understanding of the situation, which would be a peaceful situation and a sane situation that the goal of truth would bring? He says, because when you use fantasy solutions, it just brings about the illusion of the experience. You know, if I still keep acting like I'm separate, I'm a victim, that I have no power in this situation, and I don't have a goal that I want to happen in this situation, I haven't decided on what I really want to come out of this situation, or when you're not really using these truth principles in the situation that you're dealing with, then you will have the illusion of the experience. And the illusion of peace, the imaginary peace, imaginary abundance, imaginary love, which is all love that doesn't last, abundance that doesn't last, peace that doesn't last. That's not the condition in which truth and love can really enter in your life. So you really want to use the truth principles that I have shared with you from the Course in Miracles. That's right. You want to generalize the lesson. You want to take these principles that I'm teaching and sharing from A Course in Miracles, and you want to use these principles in every situation in your life that you would like to have more truth and sanity in. But you have to listen to this over and over again. You have to listen to it at least 4 times. You need to read the Course in Miracles, do the workbook lessons, so that you can have miracles in your life, so that you can have love in your life, so that you can have joy in your life. The situation that you're dealing with that maybe you're using to keep yourself unhappy, that situation can be healed. That situation can be corrected. You can have the peace and the truth and the sanity that you want to have. But you have to, but what you want to do is ask yourself 2 questions in the situation that you're in. You want to ask yourself, what do I want to come out of this situation? What is this situation for? What do I want to come out of this relationship? What is this relationship for? What do I want to come out of this circumstance that I'm in? What is this circumstance for? Setting the goals section. All right, so don't forget, it's repetition, repetition, repetition that allows you to change your mind, not analyzation, analyzation, analyzation. So I want you to really let yourself hear that. I'm Earl Purdy. I'm a full-time teacher of A Course in Miracles. I do it on a donation basis. If you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, certainly I thank you for that. You can use PayPal, Venmo, the Cash App, Zelle. These are ways that you can share, and I would really appreciate that. All you need is my email address, and my email address, Venmo, you can also use Venmo. My email address is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com, earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. I want to also invite you to come on Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. If you're in the Denver, Colorado area, you can attend my class in person at 1555 Race Street, 1555 Race Street, 80206 in Denver, Colorado. I also upload all of my classes to YouTube, as well as you can watch them on Facebook. I'm available for one-on-one coaching and counseling and advising sessions about how you can use the principles of the Course in Miracles to solve situations that you're dealing with that you know you've had enough and you want to get past it. For those of you who would love to have a personal coach working with you to help you really be able to master the Course more and save you some time, I'm available for that. And I'm also practice astrology and numerology for those who are open to receiving information from Spirit in that way. Just go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com, P-U-R-D-Y, www.earlpurdy.com, and you can self-book a session with me right online. Okay, so take a deep breath. I'm going to take one more minute or so to bring home the main points that we heard today that's important, because it's a repetition that's so important. Number one, if you say you want the truth out of a situation that you're in, and you want that you want sanity in the situation that you're in, then you're going to have peace. Also, if you're experiencing peace, then you know that's where truth and sanity is. So whatever areas of your life that you're experiencing the most peace and joy in, that's the area of your life that you're really practicing the truth in. If you're a peaceful person, and the more you allow yourself to have peace of mind, then the harder it will be for you to be fooled. Deception cannot prevail against a person who has peace and a person who has sanity. Also, we were told today that the Holy Spirit, your right mind, knows that the situation is going to be the way that your goal determines it, and that you're going to experience a situation or relationship according to the goal. And so you want to make sure that you ask yourself, in every situation, you're totally welcome. You're very welcome, Pamela. Also, I want you to realize that the goal is going to be as you determine the goal, and you want the Holy Spirit's goal, which is the goal of sanity and peace and joy. That you have to have faith in the goal, not necessarily faith in the person, even though that's great, but especially have faith in the goal that you have set. The other thing we heard today, which I really loved, it says that we were told that setting the goal establishes the fact that everybody involved in it, they're going to play their part in the accomplishment of the goal. So it's more important for you to set the goal than to necessarily know how you're going to achieve the goal. It's more important to set the goal, just determining what it is that you want to come out of a situation and what the situation is for. That's more important than necessarily knowing how the goal is going to be accomplished. And whenever truth hasn't come, whenever the peace hasn't come, you know your faith has been denied. You've been denying your faith to God, and you've been denying your faith in the goal if it looks like the peace hasn't come. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean you need to beat yourself up. It just means that you have to set the goal of truth. You have to set the goal of sanity. You have to set the goal of love. So, mighty companion, thank you again for letting me teach what I need to learn, because I am a teacher and a learner also. And you are blessings to me. And I've been wanting, those of you who see yourself as an Earl Purdy student and you really resonate to me as your teacher, then please email me at earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com so that I can put you on the list, because I am going to be doing more private advanced classes. So I want you to be able to let you know about those of you who really want to work with me even deeper. Earl Purdy at earlpurdy.com. Please share this video. Please watch it at least 4 times. Mighty companion, I appreciate you, and may the course be with you. Love you.